In July of 2018, Brent and I decided to go on a 4-day vacation to fly out from Phoenix to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I only stayed there for 4 nights. Brent stayed for a couple of weeks because his sister was traveling out of town. When we first arrived, we drove from the airport to Burlington, Wisconsin. That's where a lot of Brent's friends are, and so we kind of hung out there most of the time while I was there. And when we first arrived there, we stopped off at Echo Park. I've been there several times. I've painted a few watercolors there, and this is a shot of the dam that was there. And we're about to go into a video clip of a walk around that I did around the western border, the western side of Echo Lake itself. That's a granary silo in the background there. I've painted that as well. And I just wanted to walk around, trying to stretch my legs after being in the plane and getting directly into a rental car and then driving the 30 minutes from Milwaukee to Burlington. But it was a nice day. I had two sunny days and then 2 rainy days. Again, this is another clip from that same lake, Echo Lake. There were some families there, even though it was the middle of the summer, so I expected it to be a lot more full of people. But there was only another group of people there, so I pretty much had the whole place we had this whole place to ourselves. This is one point in the lake. I'm assuming this is a boat launch, a boat ramp going into the water, but there's a picnic seat there. A nice transition to a beach there, and very nice. We don't have very many bodies of water in Phoenix, where you can just, unlike there are just bodies of water everywhere. There's a picture. I sat down on that picnic table, that picnic chair there. I took a shot from across the water there. Then we went to the Waterside restaurant. This is a picture from the winter. There was no summer. There was no snow there in July. This place was really nice. One of Brent's best friends works there, and outside it's a 2-level restaurant. On the bottom level, it opens up to a deck area that has a boat dock. Very nice. We spent some time down there looking at the water. This is the inside of the restaurant. I believe this is from its website. I didn't take a picture of the people that were in there. This isn't one of my own pictures, this trip of one of the boat docks, and there was some water lilies, lily pads rather, in the water, which I thought was pretty cool. And the sun was just stunning. The whole time while we were there that day was very, very picturesque with the sun, and it was about in the mid 70s to 80. And then after that, we decided to explore a little bit around the city before we met some of his friends. I actually went to visit a hospital there. They have an Aurora hospital. That's the main system out there. We actually took a walking tour in the inside of the building, but I don't want to put any of the pictures there because there were patients there. But it was pretty interesting. The next day, I decided to take the bus on my own. I wanted to see what it was like. I picked up the bus after breakfast. I walked to Humboldt Park, which is about 2 blocks from where Brent's sister lives, and I sat there on that picnic bench right there, and I painted something. I can't remember what I painted. And then I took the bus on to the Harley-Davidson Museum. It was okay. It's $25, which is kind of pricey for that quality of museum, but I did see some interesting bikes there. And this is me sitting on a bench. Brent was going to come by and pick me up. This is a video of me as I was sitting on that bench looking out on that park. Very nice. I'm not used to all this green. Phoenix is very brown. Everything is brown and gravel and rocks and cactus. You don't see much grass and green trees, deciduous trees. That was a shot of the actual museum. This is a misplaced picture. This is Brent's childhood home. We just decided to drive by it. This time around, we were able to take a picture without scaring the occupants, which I thought was pretty good. This is a picture of Brent's sister's deck. She lives in the top story of a 2-story home, and her deck is on the 2nd story also. Very beautifully done with plants and all that. The second sunny day, I decided to spend going to the art museum and walking around downtown. This is a picture of where Brent and I sat on Lake Michigan waterfront. Then he went off to visit some friends. I wanted to see the museum, and he hates museums. I had lunch there at the cafe. I had a croissant and some soup. It was really excellent, even though it was very highly priced. And then this is a shot from their deck on the top level of the art museum, looking out onto Lake Michigan. Beautiful day, beautiful, sunny, slightly cloudy day. The architecture, this architecture is just stunningly beautiful. It itself is probably the biggest draw from this museum. The art inside was interesting, but it's on the same par, I think, as Phoenix Art Museum, and a museum I'm not terribly impressed with either, but this architecture is absolutely stunning. This is an interior shot of I don't know how to describe it, but the big sail construction on the top of the building, which points out into Lake Michigan. This is from the other side. I believe that's the Veterans War Museum that you can see there. I'm not sure, on the right side of the window panes. I didn't go there. And then I took a couple of shots of the archway, the central arch, cathedral ceiling sort of thing, in their main entrance, which is just stunning, absolutely stunning. After that, I decided to take a walk out from the top level of the museum, and then I walked west. I believe it was Wisconsin Avenue that I walked on. I'm not exactly sure. They had a very nice footbridge that went from the museum going over into the city, and the city walk itself was very nice. I as most people who know me, I tend to be really shy and scared about walking in urban areas, but I felt totally fine. It seemed like a really modern, upscale city. It reminded me a lot of Vermont and Seattle as far as how walkable the city streets were and how pedestrian friendly, and there wasn't any quote unquote urban decay. And what I really liked about Milwaukee is the amount of interesting architecture that is there. We don't see very much historical architecture in Phoenix. Quite a contrast from what we had in Richmond, Virginia, where there was just a plethora of historic 19th century construction in Richmond, Virginia. Phoenix is nothing but modern. So going to Milwaukee was very interesting. One of the times, there's a canal, river, I think it's called the Milwaukee River, I'm not sure, but they had to lift the suspension bridge. This is where a whole chunk, a square of the road gets elevated up in order to allow the boats to go by. This is a picture of the front of the public library. The inside is really stunning. Some of it is museum quality architecture and decor. Really, really beautiful. After I got picked up from the art museum, we went out to Burlington. It started to turn rainy at this point, and we're about to go into a clip which has some of that really stunning video and audio of this storm system that was coming into Milwaukee at that time. after that, we decided, I think this was either the next day, I'm not sure when we went to, we decided to go to a place called the Domes. The Domes there's a couple of shots of it later on. These are just some interior video. I didn't take very much video. I'm going to start doing that on these trips. Make these videos more about kids rather than photographs. But at any rate, we decided to go to the Domes. Beautiful. They had a desert dome, a temperate dome, and a tropical rainforest dome. We sat and took a little rest on it next to the koi pond. These koi ponds are made by humans. They remind me of in Virginia. Huge koi's, goldfish, and these koi's without it. My mother had koi that were a couple of them, just huge. I mean, they survived in a relatively small koi pond. These are some of those exterior shots of the domes. This one is actually from inside one of the domes. You can go out and view out and look at one of the other domes. These domes are about, 4 or 5 stories tall, something like that. This is another photograph while I was taking a rest on one of the benches. And then we have some shots coming up of the exterior. This is from the front entrance. You can see 2 of the 3 domes. I couldn't back up enough to get all 3 in. This is a panoramic shot that I took with my iPhone 6, but those panoramic shots kind of distort the image, but at least you can really see them. And I really enjoy how these photographs captured the atmosphere this particular day. It was threatening to rain the whole time. We were carrying umbrellas around, which we never have to do in Phoenix, and so it was really quite remarkable to see this kind of weather and to be able to be out in it without getting drenched, which is pretty cool. And then these are just some static shots. The next day, or maybe that day, we went record shopping down in downtown Burlington. Okay, so that's it for our trip. And then I came back and came back to hot, brown, dusty dirt. Thanks for watching.